since everybody is having a complaint, why don't I do the work so that when I am done doing the work, I can send you guys a harder work to do. Then you guys, that one there, you have no complaint and you'll be able to do that one. Is that okay?
That's fine, sir. Sir, when do we have to submit that hard one?
You would have to submit it by this time next week.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So for this one, we read it. Do we need to read it again?
Yes, sir.
Oh, then someone, some beautiful person should read it for us again.
Regina, you can read them. Since beautiful was used, you are the only lady.
Oh, beautiful or handsome, so that it is equal opportunity for boys and girls.
Okay, so practical examination question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe formed with MS Access integration. You are tasked with developing a university course registration system using Visual Basic Forms and Microsoft Access database. The system should allow students to register for courses each semester and store their registration details in an Access database. Requirements: form design, a label at the top, University Course Registration System, bold and centered. Input fields for student details. Student ID, text box, numeric only. Full name, text box. Department, combo box. Computer science, business and engineering. Level or year. Radio buttons. Level 100, level 200, level 300, level 400. Course selection section. Check boxes for at least 5 courses. 2. Functionalities. When the student enters their details and select courses, pressing the register button should 1. Validate that all required fields are filled. Ensure that at least one course is selected. Save the registration details into an Access database. Display a confirmation message with the student's detail and selection courses. 3. Database integration. Create an Access database named universitydb.accdb with a table registrations. The table should have the following fields: student ID, number, full name, test, department, test, level, test, courses, test. 4. Additional controls. A clear button to reset all fields. An exit button to close the form. 5. Validation. So can you scroll down? Validation. Student's ID must be numeric. Full name cannot be empty. Department must be chosen. At least one course must be selected. 6. Bonus requirements, optional. Allow exporting the registration confirmation to a test file after saving the database. Task: write a complete Visual Basic Form program that meets the above requirements. Ensure your program correctly connects to the Access database perform input validation, and save students' registration details successfully. Add comments in your code to explain the logic.
Wonderful. The first thing I'll do is I'll create my Access database. So I'll open the Access. And once Access is open, I'll click on blank database and I'll give it the name. According to the system, they said the name of our database should be University DB. So I'll call my database University DB and click on create. In here, they said that I have to create a table and call the table registrations. So over here, I have a table. And I'm going to call my table registrations. I'm done with that. The next thing is that I have to create, according to the question, student ID, full name, department, level, and this. So in here, I'll have student ID, I'll have full name, I'll have department, I'll have level, I'll have courses. So this is all the things which are there. Let me just make sure. Level and courses. They are all text, and this is supposed to be a number. So all of these are text, and this is a number. When I'm done, I'll save. We can see that we have our table created for us. Of course, I need to know where my table is saved. So I will save my table as, and then in this case, I saved it in the desktop with my documents folder. So I'll just create a new folder here, call it DB work. And then in DB work, I'll go and save my database over there, just in case. Enable. Now, I'll close this because I don't need it anymore. And I'll open my Visual Studio 2022 to start building my interface. So I know my DB structure. I've done my DB structure. Now I can open my interface. I want to create a new project. The project I want to create is going to be a VB Windows Form project. So I can state it as a VB Windows Form project. And then I can press next here so that I'll call it University. And then I'll click on next so that I can create my project by selecting the framework. Now, according to the system that was given, it says we need to create a student ID box, a name box, a department box, a year box, and then we have to create a selection for at least 5 courses. So my designer is designing so that I'll get my interface. And now I have my designer done. According to the question again, it says that at the top, I should put the university course registration. So in here, I'm going to go for my tools. I'm going to look for a label. And then the label I'm going to look for is called or has a property of text, which is going to be university that. So that. Of course, it's at the top, so I'll just make sure the font of it is going to be this. And then I'm going to make it bold. And I'll put it in the center. Over here, I'm going to look for another label. And then I'm going to give this label a text property of 12. And I'm going to make it bold. I'll copy the label out some few times so that I can paste them all here. I don't think I need this one, and I don't need this one. So at this label, I can just come and change it into student ID. Then the next one is going to be, sorry.
Excuse me, I think there are some of our guys who are trying to join, but they are not being added.
They are not being added. There's no, there is no, what do you call that thing? There is no block. Like you can add.
Oh, there's no block.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I'll advise him.
Yeah, there's no block. It's their internet.
Okay, I'll advise him. Thank you very much.
Okay. There is no block. So we have student full name, department, and then year, whatever. So here, I'll click here, change the property to student full name. I'll click here, change the property to student department. I'll click here, change the property to student year. And I'll click here and change the property to the course the student wants to do. Wonderful. I'll also go and look for a text box. I'll put a text box here. I'll stretch the text box out a bit. I'll go over the properties of the text box and say that the font of the text box should be 12. And then I'll copy the text box some few times and then align them all here. And then when I click here, I'll go for the name property and I'll call this TXT student ID. I'll click this one and call it TXT full name. I'll click on this and call it. So here, I want you to be able to select the department you belong to. So let me do this one, a combo box. Yeah. And then the font of the combo box is also going to be 12. I'll scroll to the top. And then in here, I would say combo department. Wonderful. To make life easier for me, I'll make this also a combo box. Okay, then I can just copy this one so it has the same properties. And then I'll change this one to combo level. And then over here, I'll change this one also to a combo box and say combo course. Wonderful. Let me bring this one up a bit. Bring this one here a bit. Bring it to the side so it's in line with this. This goes to the side so it's in line with this. And this is what I have. I highlight all of this. I bring it to the center. And then I go for a button. So I can put it here. And then I can call this button over font size of 12. Register. I also need a button for clear. Yeah. And then this is what I have. I'll finish designing what I have. It is this aspect of the whole thing, you should have been able to do it. The next aspect of this whole thing is me writing the code that would achieve the aims I am looking for. Yeah.
I needed some clarification. Looking at the questions you posted, the course, I just shared some screenshots in the group. The course I was expecting, per the question you said, the course supposed to be a radio button, not a drop down.
A checkbox, or it's supposed to be a checkbox.
Sorry, a checkbox rather.
Oh, okay. I wanted to do it a drop down to make life easier for me. But if you can do it a checkbox, it's not a big deal.
Okay, sir.
So over here, we can do it this. That means I'll have to have a checkbox for the various things I want to add. In that case, I'll click here. And then, okay, so if I could make this a checkbox, then here I have to make it 12 and make this place true. And then the name of this checkbox is going to be, let's say, programming. Okay. Oh, I didn't click on the listen. So it means the changes I did was for this one. Oh, let me call it 4. That's fine. And then registration 4. Okay. So for the checkbox, I want to make it programming. Perfect. I'll copy it and then paste it. I'll paste another one and I'll paste one more so that I have these checkboxes for me to call this one database. I can call this one networking. I can call this one accounting. Now I can go and call this one's name CHK programming. And I'll call this one CHK database. I'll call this one, sorry, CHK networking. And I'll call this one CHK accounting. Good. So I have this. This is also going to be a radio button, but as I said, I just wanted to make life easier for me. So I did it that way. Now, over here, we have the clear button, and we also have another button called exit, right? Because the question also said we should do exit. So we have another button here called exit. Perfect.
Okay.
Now, I can bring these buttons to the closer to the top here a bit. I can make the back color of this one, system custom. Let me make it greeny. I can make this one's back color clear. So let me choose a color. Good. I can make this color red. Perfect. Okay. So now this is what I have. So now, if I click on the exit, if I double click on the exit, I can write the code of what will happen when the person clicks on the exit button. Before then, let me just be professional a bit and say that this button here would have a property of BTN register. Then this one will have a property of BTN clear. Then this will have a property of BTN exit. So now when I double click here, I can write the code for what happens when I exit. And I want me.what close. So when I click on the exit button, like when I run the application, and the application runs, I want when I click on this, the application will exit and close. So that takes care of the exit button. The second one. The next one. I want the clear. So here, when I go and click on the clear button, what should happen? Go for TXT ID and then clear the information there. Go for TXT full name and clear the information there. From there, we are going to go for the combo box department. And then when we go for the combo box department, we are going to select the first index and then make sure it is equal to -1, which means it is unclicked on. Over here, when we come to the level, so it's combo box level, we are also combo box level. We are also going to go for the -1. And then for the checkbox programming, we are going to say that its status of checked should be equal to false. Good. We are going to also say that for the checkbox database, its status should be false. For the checkbox networking, its status should be false. And then for the checkbox accounting, also its status should be what? False. So that if someone comes and runs my application and types something in here, comes and types something or chooses something here, let me add the things we'll choose there. So let me come here. So here, my department, I want to add the data computer science, and I want to add information technology. That's all. For the year group, I want to add level 100, level 200, level 300, level 400. Okay. So now, if I save this and I run this, and it is running now, I can say that the person's ID is this. His name is John. I can say he belongs to this. I can say the person does this. I can say he's doing this course and this course, and he's not doing these two. And when I hit on clear, everything will go away for me to start a new one. When I click on exit, the whole program will stop. Now, I must go to register. So I'll double click in register. So I have my code for exit. I have my code for update. Now I'm coming to do my code for when the person clicks on the button. Now, the most important piece of text here is that I'm going to connect to my database. Hence, I would need to import system.data.oledb. I will also need my connection string to the database. I also need that connection to the database. And I'm going to make it global here to make life easier for me. So I'll say dim con as oledb connect should. Now you can see here that the oledb connection is like this because this is not running. So I'll highlight the system.oledb. I'll come to my Solution Explorer. I'll right-click my Solution Explorer. I'll go to Install Nugget Package. And when the Nugget package opens, I'll click on Browse. And then I will search for the nuggeting which I want, which is this one. So it is going to search for it. It has found it. I will click on it. I will install it. It has installed for me. I will apply it. It has applied for me. And then when I go into my code to save, I can see it is running there again. Now, in here, I have to provide who my database connection is. Remember that the first half of the statement is mostly untouched. So here, my provider is going to be Microsoft.ac.onlydb.12. My data source is going to be this data source over here. But now I must point to where my information is going to come from. Remember that in my case, my information is in my drive C. When I open my computer, I will go to documents. In documents, I will look for, what did I even call it? Crap, I forgot what I called it. What did I call it? Let me open the access and check. Okay, the old one is, the one I did is here. So let me use that one. So it is here. So let me right click, go to properties. In properties, I'll go and look for security and I'll copy the object name, which is over here. I'll copy it and then I'll come all the way here and put the object name over here. So now the computer knows where it should go to pick my data from my OnlyDB. So it knows where my database resides. Perfect. Now I can use it. In using it, the question said that we have to check if the user has logged in or not. So in here, where the user clicks the button, what should happen? I'm going to say dim student ID as a string should be equal to txt student ID dot text dot trim, so that any side and side information, you see that when the person is typing, when I start this, some people are there when they type, oh, they are both errors. Just stop a second. This. Okay. When some people type, they give a space here and they type and they give a space here. So the space in front and the space at the back, the trim will remove the spaces in front and the space at the back. So why do I have an error over here? Oh, I have an error because I didn't bring the new keyword. Wonderful. Now let's continue. Have dim full name as a string, which is equal to txt full name dot text dot trim. I have dim department as a string, which is equal to txt, or that one was a combo box. So combo department dot text. I also have dim level as a string, which is equal to the combo level dot text. Then finally, I have dim courses as a string, But in this case, it is going to be equal to just an empty code. Now I have to check if the person has typed something in the ID field. So if student ID, okay, is equal to nothing, or not, capital N, or not is numeric, into bracket student ID. Then we will tell the person that with a message box dot show into brackets, please enter a valid numeric value. Then we'll exit the sub. Wonderful. Now, if the full name is equal to this, then we'll tell the person that with a message box dot show full name can not be empty. Now, a message box, as you know, there are certain things we need to add to the message box. We need to add that our message box has a title called error. And over here, we'll add that the message box button should be okay. And then finally, we don't need to put this in code. Message box button. And finally, should be okay. And finally, our message box should be having an icon of error. Wonderful. That means that all of these things here apply to this one. Wonderful. I can also do the same thing for the department and say the department cannot be left empty. And I can do the same thing for the level. And say the level cannot be left empty. I cannot do the same thing for the courses. Because for the courses, I have to check which course the person has checked. So I have to say if, because I'm using the checkbox, if check programming dot checked. Okay, so if programming is checked, then I'll say that the courses I have at the top should be equal to the courses. Then I will join programming. Perfect. Now, if the courses, if checked, is database, then here I will join database. Yeah. Over here, I will join networking. Networking. Over here, I will join accounting. And then here, I will join accounting. Fantastic. I don't need to bring this here. So I'll just use the ampersand only to join them. Now, I have joined them. The best thing to do over here is to write the statement like this. So I'll say ampersand is equal to, so it's either I'll do the ampersand is equal to, or say courses is equal to courses times, join this, any way you want to do it, this is correct. Now, at the end of the day, if I take courses and courses is empty, then it means that no program was what selected. So I can then say then, and then in here, I'll put in a message box and say select at least one course. So that this would go away. And of course, it's the same thing. It's a message error and all those things. Now, one thing I didn't do for all of them is that I didn't say that when you are done, end the sub. When you are done, end the sub. When you are done, end the sub. When you are done, end the sub over here too. So that when all of them are done and there is an error message, the sub will be stopped. So that you go and do it before you continue. Then I can now
spelling for the at least select one course.
Pardon? Over
Spelling
here.
for one. No.
Select at least. Okay, one course. No problem. So I'll have my try catch here, where I'll try something, and if there is an error, I will catch it. In here, after I open the try, I'm going to take the con I did and open it. Then I'm going to say dim cmd, that's the command, as OnlyDB command. And then I can insert the command I want to run in the database. Now, what command do I want to run in the database? I want to insert into the registration table. So let me just confirm what I called it. Um, 1 second, I'm looking for the name I called my table in my documents. Yes, so I'm opening up the database again. Maple. And then I called it registrations. Perfect. So insert into registrations. And what am I inserting into my database called registrations? I'm inserting the courses information, the student ID, first name, last name, level, and courses. And then the values I am going to insert are going to be at student ID, at course ID, at listing ID. Now, the at allows the computer to know that they are just placeholders. They are not the actual thing in which you are going to, they are placeholders. This only DB is a class, so I have to add new here. Other than that, I'll get a line here and my code will not run. So this is how my thing looks like. So I have this information here. So insert into registration, student ID, first name, department, that. This will go with that, that will go with that, this will go with that, that will go with that, and this will go with that. So I am fine. And we are using what to go into the database. We are using the connection I created. So I have to bring a comma and a con to know what connection is using to enter my DB. Now, I have to tell the computer the various parameters I use. So command dot parameters, and in here, I can tell the computer that it is adding with value, and the values I am adding are into double quotes at student ID, and then what is the student ID? It is what? Student ID. Perfect. To speed things up a bit, I'm also adding at full name, at department, at level, and at courses. So this will go replace this will go replace this will go replace that will go replace that will go replace that. Then when they are all replaced, I can then tell the computer to go into the database and run my query. And when it is done running my query, I want it to take the connection and close it. Then I want to show a message box. So message box. And then in this message box, I'm going to say registration successful. Perfect. And here I'm going to say that the registration is successful. The message title is going to be success. And then over here, I want the message box button to be okay, but the icon is not going to be error. So the icon here is going to be information. Perfect. Information. So here, remember, message box goes with dot show. So it's message box dot show. Wonderful. Now, if my error or there is an error in my page or anything, then I would use the message box to just showcase the error. So here I'll just say error, and then I'll just tell the computer that it should join the exception dot message of the error. That's all. So if there is an error message, just show me the error message over here. Great. Now, understandably, if the error comes, let's say it opens. Let's say I get here and the thing opens and the error is here. It is still open. So sometimes in the try and catch, we add finally. Now, here you can use it to check if the connection state is still open. And if it is open, then you would want to what? Close it so that you're always safe from any attempts in your database. So with that, this application is done. I can go here. I can run my app. And when I run my app, it compiles, tells me I have a build error. So let's see where the build error is. Let me close this. Okay, so student ID is not declared over here. I thought I declared it here. So let me copy it here and come and put it in here. Perfect. I got the spelling of student ID wrong. So let me run it again. By the way, I hope you saw how my error, I went to the place and I found out what was wrong, which one is underlined, so on and so forth. So in here, I can say my student is 2222. His name is John Owusu. And then here I can say he's doing computer science, he's in level 200, and he's doing these two courses. And when I click register, it's supposed to register into my database. But here it is telling me that I have an error, and the error is with my syntax statement insert into. Okay, so it means that my error is coming from here. The insert into. That is over here. So I'm inserting into registration. That's
Student ID with capital letter S.
What?
The student ID with capital S.
I think that in my database, I also use capital letter S. That's why I maintain the capital letter S. Let me see. So here it's registrations, and it is capital letter what? S. Can you see that? Okay, so in Excel, I can write directly the query I am looking for. So let me go for the query. Also, so here I can see my students. I can type the SQL statement directly in the access. So I'm doing that to see if I'll get an error. So here I have John. Let's see, John Owusu. And then the department of John is, let's see, IT. And then Mr. John is in level 200. And then Mr. John is doing, let's say, programming. Okay, so if I hit the run button, I have a syntax with my insert into. So the error is coming from here. So now it is recognized that the error is coming from there. So the insert Did I spell it correct? I think the spelling of my words are correct. Let me see. I don't think I have a problem with it. So insert into that. I think everything there. Syntax error in insert statement. Let's see. Okay. They are saying that level is a reserved word. So I can't use level. So let me put them in square brackets for it to know that it is not a reserved word. And let me see if it will come. Perfect. So when I run this, you are about to append the row. Once you make changes, you cannot undo. Yes, I want to append the row. So append. So yes. Query. Are you sure you want to append the row? Yes. I said yes. Access has set 0 fields to manage in failure to add one of the rows. Okay, yes. Okay, so it has added them over here. That's fine. So now my query is working. So I'll make the modifications in my code. But before then, over here, I said that this should be auto number. So let me just make it number. So I don't have any problems when I'm inserting into this field here. So in my VB, I'm going to put a square bracket around all of this so that Access will know that this is, even though it is a reserved word, continue using it for me. Good. So now I shouldn't have any problems putting something in my application. So if I run it, I'll say one, two, three, four. Full name is Henry. Department is doing IT, information technology. Let's say it's level 400 and is doing networking and accounting. I click on register. I have no problems and my data is gone. And then when I press OK, I can go into my database. And then I'm supposed to see that Henry has been added for me quite beautifully and my data is there. And you can see that it did networking, accounting. So I know that if I'm doing 2 courses or 3 courses. So I can add the number of courses I want in the system. Beautiful. At the end of the day, this is what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to create this system here for me so that if I enter the details and press, the system can feed me with the details. Are there any questions?